Welcome back, everybody. We have an education matter to talk to you about, the pre-kindergarten program. If your child is getting ready for DOE, it's a great chance to get them a little bit up to speed and give them a slight advantage, I would say. Eloise Sanchez and Isa Baza with DOE. Hafade?
Yes, Hafade.
Okay, so can we get up to speed on exactly what the pre-K program was? Because I know it was in a pilot phase at DOE initially, kind of just to...
Continues to be.
Yeah,
yes.
Okay, continues to be. So just to be able to figure it out, see, like, work out some of the kinks and everything like that. But the fact that it is expanding tells me that it's a success.
It is, it is. And basically what we did is we started talking about the pre-kindergarten program, the universal program, back in 2014. And as the planning committee, the early childhood planning committee started working, we then started to take a look at the planning and getting the program off the ground. We were very fortunate to get some funding from the local funds to get the pilot pre-kindergarten program off the ground for school year 2015 and 16. So right now, currently we have 4 pilot pre-K programs at Finneganson Elementary School, JQ San Miguel, LBJ, and also Marshall Sablon. So we wanted to make sure that all the different regions throughout the islands are provided with a pre-K program. And as you mentioned, we are excited about the approval of 5 more, which would make that up to 9 pre-K program by school year 2018 and 2019.
That will be awesome. So Isa, I'm thinking because it's pre-K, this deals with very, very young kids, like what, age 4, thereabouts?
Yeah, so we're looking for students who are age 4 or will turn 4 by July 31st of this year. And so we did expand to 5 additional schools just about a month ago. The Guam Education Board approved that. And so each of these schools has roughly 18 students. So we're hoping that at least around 144 students will be able to avail of this program this coming school year.
Very cool. So Eloise, for people that may, they're maybe not too concerned about, the mechanics of the program, or, like how it's being set up and everything like that. If I have a young child, what's so important about getting my kid into a pre-K program? Like, what will they be taught?
Okay, so basically our pre-kindergarten program allows for an age-appropriate learning environment for 4-year-olds. When we take a look at the working with 4-year-olds, we address their developmental stages, and of course that's their social development, their emotional development, their intellectual development, and physical development. And so we want to be able to address our state strategic plan, which wants us to be getting our 4-year-olds ready for kindergarten. And so with a really good learning environment, high quality learning environment, then at that point we hope that our kindergarten students, by the time they get there, are ready to learn their ABCs, their alphabets, and their 1, 2, 3s.
Very nice. So, okay, well, Isa, someone who is a master at ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, given your time here at KUAM, what can people expect to have their children go through as far as like schedule and everything? Is this a full?
It is a full day.
Most of us think, okay, 8 to 2,
right?
Roughly, and everything like
That's
that.
right.
Is that what the structure is?
That is correct.
Okay. I'm sure with transportation and everything like that, this isn't a normal, let's go through like some of the logistics
Right,
of
okay,
that.
sure. So when we first started, we only had 4, we had 72 students in our program, and we would have 1 in every region. And so we developed a standard operating procedure that would say that if you are within the school attendance area, that transportation will be available. However, if you stay a couple of villages away from the school, then you would have to have your own transportation. And so we're really making sure that we also look at guidelines to address transportation to and from. And for the most part, many of our families tend to pick up their children because they're still 4, still very young, and we don't really want them on the roads without any kind of supervision.
Yeah, these are wee little kids.
They are, they are.
Yeah, and like you said, social development skills,
That's right.
group dynamics, and everything like that. That's what they're. That's what they're learning. Okay.
Right.
And so I just wanted to mention the 5 additional schools that we'll be expanding to. And so we have DL Perez Elementary School, Maria Ujoa Elementary School, PC Lujan Elementary School, Agana Heights Elementary, and Inarajan Elementary. So again, this kind of extends to different parts of the island. And one thing I want to mention is really helpful. A lot of parents, especially if they're working parents, they might struggle paying daycare to find someone to watch their children during the day. And so this is just another opportunity for them to get their students in a program early on, when they're 4 years old, before kindergarten. Well, they'll be exposed to early learning opportunities. And it's also, an opportunity for the parent to have somewhere educational to put their children while they're working.
Very true, and I like the word you used there, Isa, because the key word was opportunity. Now, from the flip side of the classroom, this is probably an opportunity for educators,
Right.
like to find new work and everything like that.
Exactly.
Are you in need of what is the what's the proper term for educators at that level? Like,
Sure. It's
teachers,
basic.
one-to-one school
It's a
age?
basic certification with an AA degree in early childhood education. So anybody wanting to apply, and as you mentioned, we will have 5 openings soon for the 5 teachers plus the instructional aides. And so, going back to what we're looking at as far as wanting to provide the program, research has shown that we see early experiences in school would allow for us to take a look at intervention issues so that the number of special ed students are probably reduced. We're looking at services, services that, remedial services that are out there. We hope that the early childhood program would eventually be able to take a look at things that we can address in the social emotional area and reduce that as well. So we're looking at the long-term effect of the pilot pre-kindergarten program. We do have an evaluation that's ongoing right now, and we hope that those continue to see some positive results. We did have some positive results, but this is already our 3rd year. So hopefully, once we are able to get everything and all the information together, that we will see that the investment that the public has made in the program is there.
Ever forward, progress.
For sure.
And I really want to mention also, this is the time right now when parents who are interested in next school year should start getting their ideas together and start thinking about the application process, which is just about to start up in a few weeks.
That's
so,
right.
Eloise, can you tell us more about the eligibility requirements and
Okay.
how parents can apply?
Right. And so the public pre-kindergarten program, the application will start on Valentine's Day, Wednesday, February 14th.
Very fitting.
Right, exactly. And so families can go ahead and go to the 9 schools the 9 schools that Isa and I just both mentioned. And so they would pick up an application. The application is very simple. It's a 1-pager. It has information about the child's information as well as family information. And the only thing that they would need to do prior to Friday, April 20th, is to ensure that the application is filled out promptly. And then we would also need a verification of their mayor's, the mayor's verification so that we know that the family's within district.
Okay, that will be our last question before we put the show in the history books appropriately. If I live in, in the village in Narahan, it's fairly obvious, like where I would send
That's right.
my kid to the pre-K program. There's very often like this districting, like you're on the fringe and everything like that. I don't know if I go to the Derrida school or the Jigo school, depending on where my neighborhood is. Is there a resource that people can find either online or, at DOE where I can say, I know if I want to avail of the
Sure.
pre-K program where I send my child?
Okay, so what they can do is they can actually call our office, the Division of Curriculum Instruction,
Okay.
At 300-1247. But kind of going back to your question regarding if I live outside of Inarahan, if you live in Mauricio, for example, one of the things that we're doing according to our standard operating procedure is that we definitely want to take a look at the residents within the school district, the school attendants. And then if we have, let's say, 15 students that have picked up the application and filled it out, and we're in, we've got that number, then if we have 3 openings, the families from either Mauricio or even Talafofo can also apply, and they'll be able to get if there's enough room. So we want to take a look at filling the attendance area first. Now let's say, for example, we have 19 students and they're all from Inarahan, or 19 applicants. Then the following week, we had talked about this earlier, is that there is a lottery to be able to have an equitable access to the program. So it's not first come, and generally people want to say the first one in will be the first one to be chosen on the list. But to make it fair to our families and our, the families and the public, we need to make sure that as the numbers come in, there'll be a number, but we take all the children's names, put it in a bin, and do a lottery for that.
Okay, well, that being the case, we're going to let you ladies get back to work and the very fine work that you guys do, because we got to end the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jason.
All right, and thank you for watching.